Now, talking about people passing out and puking, that's what obviously caused the movie to just go viral.
Él quiere disfrazarse de un tipo real que mató a 9 personas.
Oh, ¿no harás eso?
Es solo un disfraz. ¿Crees que sigue suelto?
¿Por qué estás obsesionado con este payaso?
Nunca encontraron su cuerpo.
When did it appear in your mind for first time?
Around 2005 is when I first conceived Art the Clown, and it started with I sketched him out first, and it's pretty identical to what you see now. And I had this idea of a clown sort of terrorizing this young woman who's alone on a bus, like a city bus in the middle of the night, and then just a clown gets on, and it's just her and this clown, and he's sitting directly across from her, and he just keeps staring at her and making her feel very uncomfortable, and he's staring and smiling, and then he goes into his bag and he starts honking this horn at her, making her very uncomfortable. But it's not like immediately threatening. It's not like he gets onto the bus and tries like stabbing her or killing her. It was all about building this suspense, and seeing how long I could build that, and how I can go from being very uncomfortable and then going to very threatening. And that's what it was. And that was the first short film I ever made with Art the Clown. It was that scene in particular. And a lot of that I give credit to Tim Curry's Pennywise at the time, because that was the archetypal killer clown when I created Art. And he was so colorful, and he spoke, and he's got hair, and he's got the bulbous red nose. And I didn't want to do any of that. I wanted to go into a completely different direction, because I wanted my clown to stand out. I didn't want him to get lost into that sea of, colorful killer clowns that they speak, and they're jokesters, and they have these typical clown names like Bozo, you know what I mean? I want to do everything different.
No me preocuparía por eso.
¿Eres el chico de la tienda de disfraces?
Señor, ¿qué está haciendo?
¡No fui yo!
Había sangre en su ropa y en sus manos cuando vino.
Why did you came up with a second part?
When we were shooting Terrifier 1, originally I didn't have the cliffhanger ending where you actually see him come back from the dead. That was not in the script. It ended with him killing himself, and then that was the last you saw of Art the Clown. And then it ended with the reveal that Victoria was the woman from the beginning on the talk show. But as I was shooting it, I said, listen, I need to let the audience know that he's coming back. I want them to be anticipating, and I want them to be, So we went and we added the ending where he comes back. And also that I knew that I wanted people to know that he was now going to be supernatural, and that we were going to be moving into that territory, which was going to open up a whole nother sort of can of worms, or a bunch of another interesting aspect to the character. And then also I had the character of Sienna in my head for 10 years prior, about 10 years prior, like 2008. But visually, I always knew I was going to have this final girl in modern times, but dressed like this sort of mythic Valkyrie character on Halloween that was going to go toe to toe with a slasher. I loved the idea of that character. I just love, just like Art the Clown, where you have this striking villain. I wanted this striking hero who's also larger than life, who's also somebody who could be on the cover of a comic book or something. And I wanted to pit them against one another.
Era él. Incluso tenía el punto negro en la nariz.
Eres bastante rara, ¿sabes?
Yo le creo.
¿Sobre qué?
Algo horrible va a pasar.
Sé cuando Jonathan está mintiendo. Puedo oírlo por su voz. Algo está mal.
Mira, diviértete. Estamos en un ambiente tranquilo.
Hablando de sorpresas, niños, tenemos un invitado muy especial. Directo desde el condado de Miles, denle la bienvenida a Art el Payaso.
What did you thought when it came the first impressions of media and audience that had to go out the theaters because they had to throw up or things like that, and the people came what do you think about it?
Now, talking about people passing out and puking, that's what obviously caused the movie to just go viral. And that was unexpected. Now, unexpected in terms of, it's very rare for this type of movie. A sequel, very niche slasher movie that's unrated, all these things. It's just very rare. My actors would ask me all the time. They'd say, "Do you think this is going to get like a nice theatrical release?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not. It's just sort of never happened before. It'll play in a few sort of low-level theaters, if anything, and some art house theaters, if anything, but it's not going to be a mainstream release by any means." And then, as we were nearing the release, the theaters just started growing, and then they were like, "Oh, it's going to open up in like 800 theaters," and I'm like, "That's crazy. All right, let's do it." And then by the end of that weekend, stories started coming out that people were passing out and puking, and then boom, it just exploded. And then we're on the morning news and talk shows, and Stephen King is tweeting about us, and Howard Stern is talking about us. And I'm like, what is happening? And none of us were prepared, because we were really only ready for that opening weekend. It was only supposed to play for like a weekend.
What do you think will people encounter with the movie in this time of the year that is like December? What do you think they will get, and what do you say to them? What do you want to say to the audience?
Wow. Well, listen, I mean, Christmas and horror can go together like that. Look at how many wonderful Christmas horror movies there are. So I think just the fact that you said it's such a rare situation, which that sums up Terrifier, the entire trajectory of Terrifier perfectly. It's been completely unprecedented, everything about it. And that's why one of the reasons why it's so popular is because it goes against the norm. So I think it's perfect that it's never happened where you live. You can't think of another situation where you've had a movie like this play in national theaters during Christmas. I think that makes it more exciting. I think that's a better reason for people to go and experience it. Give them something that they've never experienced before. Maybe never will get a chance to do again. I mean, that's good stuff. I mean, and to be able to share that experience and have a nice communal experience and be seeing a horror movie that's not Christmas, Christmas centric, is interesting.
911. ¿Cuál es su emergencia?
For everybody in Colombia, this is your opportunity to see the slasher that's making people puke and faint in the States, and especially during the holidays now, which is very rare. I would love for you to go and have this wonderfully unprecedented experience in the theaters and have a good time and see Art the Clown up to his nasty shenanigans yet again. So thank you for supporting us. It means the world, and we really hope you enjoy the film.